What's up, dudes? It's your boy Rick from FightBig.com. For those of you checking out the podcast on iTunes or the FightBig.com website, thanks a lot. Love your listenership. It's all going down in Germany. Big fight this weekend. I can't wait. So stoked. We haven't had a great heavyweight fight in a long time now. Is this going to be great, or is this just like some apparition kind of? We got David Haymaker Haye versus Wladimir Klitschko. Heavyweights. This is for the unification of all the titles. Well, not all of them, just about every one of them. The WBO, the IBF, the WBA, unification bout. And you know, Vitaly got that other one. I don't care about champions no more. We all know that the Klitschkos run the heavyweight division. Let's get right into it real quick. Vlad Klitschko got 55 big wins. That's rare for a heavyweight this day and age. 55. He's approaching his mid-30s. He's in his mid-30s. 49 big KOs. 3 losses. He lost to Lehman Brewster, TKO in 5, Corey Sanders in 2, and a Ross Purity back in the day. If you know who Ross was, he used to fight on USA Tuesday Night Fights here in the States. So Ross Purity knocked him out, TKO in 11. Now that's really early in his career. We can judge him on that. We got to judge Wladimir on his big fights that he had. We seen him knock out, get off the canvas to Samuel Peter. We know what he got. We know he goes down, but we know he gets back up. We don't know that about Mr. David Haye. David Haymaker Haye. His record is a pretty nice one. It's not that experienced. He's got 25 big wins, 23 huge KOs, and 1 loss. And don't forget, he's a cruiserweight. So is he carrying that big punch up against big guys? Yes, he hurt Valuev in the 12th round of their fight, but he didn't get Valuev out of there. And if you watch FightBig.com and you watch the channels on YouTube and you want to catch me out there, you won't find one boxing prediction that is wrong. And we're approaching 2 years now, dudes. David Haye, I've been watching a lot of him, and it's hard to commit. They have not one opponent in common that's a big name. I don't think they have any. I haven't seen what. See, the heavyweight division is real weird now. Like if we seen David Haye fight Samuel Peter and we seen David Haye fight Brewster, then we can make some type of judgment or assessment of where he stacks up in the heavyweight division with a Klitschko. I don't know. What I do know is I gotta be completely honest with what I see. I see a guy who has a big punch, but a lot of his fights, don't forget, were at cruiserweight, and his 1 loss was a KO. He got stopped. It was a TKO, I believe, and I watched it. It was against a guy named Carl Thompson at cruiserweight. Now, Carl Thompson, he was no prize, you know, but, you know, David Haye still, he's learning, and now he's supposedly grew into himself, and he's talking a lot. I see a very nervous man. I think he's afraid of Mr. Klitschko. Now, the fear can work against him, or it can work for him, and we won't know that until we see it in Germany. By the way, you want to catch this fight, dudes, it's live. Eastern Standard Time, that's East Coast in the U.S. It's at 4:45 Eastern Standard Time, live from Germany. You don't want to catch it later on that night between 9 and 10 or whether they're going to play it on HBO. You want to catch it live, dudes, because if you like boxing and you miss it, you're going to see it pop up in the headline. You're not going to realize you get the answer of the fight. You're like, damn, I missed it. I didn't see it live. You didn't realize. Some people don't realize it's on tape. So you want to see it live at 4:45 Eastern Standard Time, HBO. And I got to tell you guys, David Haye has a major flaw. I don't know if anyone else caught it. I watched all his fights up until his last fight. He holds his left hand. They're both orthodox. He keeps his left hand down by his hip, all right, dudes? And he runs around. He's going to try to power box. I think he's going to try to power box Klitschko. But Klitschko has a style for this man. Klitschko has that left jab, a very boring fighter, let's admit it, but if you appreciate the sweet science, you can appreciate what he does. He's got that left jab. Manuel Stewart started training him a couple years ago. He hasn't doing that in the overhand rights. So he's going to be laying in that jab. Now this fight early on, in my opinion, if David Haye is going to win heavyweight fights, anything can happen. I could be totally wrong on this, and you guys could yell at me, but guess what? Like I said, I haven't been wrong once in a boxing fight since I've been starting doing video predictions, and I'm pretty on point. I'm 90% on point with boxing over the years, so I'm mostly right all the time. I'm on point more than boxing experts like Teddy Atlas. My track record's more on point than him, so I'm always confident when I make a prediction. David Haye's left down, and I see him getting tired. Now, if he doesn't pull a Corey Sanders, if for some reason Wladimir Klitschko is just fatigued in one of those days where he's tired and he just doesn't look right, yeah, Haye will knock him out. Even if he's not going to bring the big punch up. Eventually, he's going to land a couple bombs with the speed, and he's going to take Dr. Steele out. He's going to take Klitschko out. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think if he does get knocked down because Klitschko got up against Samuel Peter to win the fight, he showed heart. I don't know if David Haye can do that. I don't know if he can take this man's big punch. My prediction, guys, let's get right down to it. My prediction is it's going to be either a good fight for a couple rounds, and David Haye is just like totally overrated, and Klitschko just wins via KO, or it's just going to be a boring decision win for Klitschko. So what I'm predicting is, now I'm not going to go play the fence. I don't know who I could see winning this. It's the heavyweight division. I could be wrong. Yeah, sure. No one's 100% right. But I think Klitschko has the experience, and he's just young enough, even though he's in his mid-30s now. I think he's young enough to pull this out. He hasn't sustained a lot of damage in the ring. I think that that jab is going to nullify Haye coming in, and Haye's going to be trying to come in and whack him with the big punches early. When that's unsuccessful, I think Vlad Klitschko is just going to do what he always does. Stick the stick in and just break David Haye down and possibly stop him. Because he's a much smaller man, and because he's not a natural heavyweight. So the later this fight goes, in my opinion, outside of a lucky punch from David Haye, Klitschko's going to take this fight, dudes. Not on a boring decision. I think he's going to take it on a late stoppage because he's angry. Now, if Haye didn't talk all this junk and talk himself into this fight, dudes, I honestly would think that Klitschko would win a decision on him. And there's my paper. And I'm out. Happy 4th of July. I'm going to be back. Listen to the podcast, dude. I make all predictions there. Floyd Mayweather versus Victor Ortiz. I got my predictions there already, but I'm going to probably drop one on video. If I don't, listen to the podcast on fightbig.com, and it's on iTunes. Just put Fight Big in one word, and there you go. No commercials, no BS, no hassles, no selling this or that. I love doing this, dudes. I want to say peace and go to fightbig.com. Klitschko takes this fight Saturday, July 2nd from Germany, 4:45 Eastern Standard Time, HBO. Don't miss it. Peace, dudes.